Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent of the name of Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic scriptures or scripture in reference to the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna to be an imagination. 6. To give some interpretation to the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of the holy name. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritual activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruitive activities, Karma Kanda. 9. To instruct a faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in the chanting of the holy name and to maintain it. And sorry, to not have complete faith on the chanting of the holy name and to maintain material attachment even after understanding so many instructions on this matter. It is also an offense to be indebted to while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be Vaishnava must guard against these offenses in order to achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Once again, I thank everyone for joining the Bhakti Sangha conference call today. Let us move to our next session, which is Srimad Bhagavatam class. May I know who all have joined the call this morning?
Hare Krishna Vardhana Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is Vinita Gandharvika Devidasi from College Station, Texas. Very happy to see you back, Mataji, after a long time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vinita Gandharvika Mataji, Dandavats Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavats Pranam, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru Maharaj ki Jai. This is Arvind Das from Chicago. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Arvind Prabhuji, Dandavats Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Vardhana Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj and Gauranga. This is Harita from Missouri City, Texas, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Harita Mataji, Dandavats Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga and all the assembled devotees. This is Yashamati Priya Devidasi from Chicago, Illinois.
Hare Krishna Yashamati Priya Mataji, Dandavats Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Background is so beautiful.
Thank you,
Hare
Mataji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Vardhana Mataji, Guru Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharajis. My humble obeisances to you and all the devotees. This is Krishna Kumari Devidasi from Raleigh. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Krishna Kumari Mataji, Dandavats Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna. Is anybody else would like to introduce themselves?
Hare Krishna Vardhana Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. This is Shama Gauri Devidasi from Charlotte.
Hare Krishna Shama Gauri Mataji, Dandavats Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Mataji, for joining the call. Hare Krishna.
Welcome back, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Anybody else would like to introduce themselves?
Okay, Mataji, I'll start the recording then.
Welcoming to the Bhakti Sangha conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Gaur Chandra Prabhu. Prabhuji is going to enlighten us on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th canto, 8th chapter, verse number 21. Before diving into the call, I'll hand over the call to Sureshwar Sham Prabhu to give brief introduction of His Grace Gaur Chandra Prabhu. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavad Pranam. All glories to Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj. Here is a brief introduction about Prabhuji. Gaur Chandra Das is a disciple of His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj and got connected to ISKCON in 1993 at Chowpatty, Mumbai. He's a gold medalist in electronic engineering from Mumbai University and an MBA as well. Currently based in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Prabhuji is involved in congregational preaching and as a spiritual counselor for many devotees now. An ISKCON certified teacher, Prabhu loves to teach Shastra, especially Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, and Chaitanya Charitamrita. He's a certified Bhakti Shastri teacher. Prabhuji has additionally served earlier in various capacities such as temple president, council member, chairman of the spiritual council board, and head of Vaishnava Training Academy in Kuala Lumpur. And as an IT consultant by profession, Prabhuji has served many multinational corporations in career of 28 years. Prabhuji is married to Her Grace Chandrika Devi Dasi and stays in Kuala Lumpur with his two sons, Sham and Ram. Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Back to you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Is Prabhuji on the call, Mataji? No.
No, Mataji, I don't see him.
We'll continue our chanting, Mataji.
Yeah. He came with a different names. Okay.
Okay.
He's there.
Okay. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavats Pranam. Please accept my humble obeisances. All goes to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for giving your valuable time and association to us this morning and enlightening on the topic of Srimad Bhagavatam. I'll hand over the call to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji, and I hope I'm not late. I am on time.
You're on time,
So,
Prabhu.
thank you. I was just preparing better for the pleasure of all the devotees. Thank you very much. Wishing all the Vaishnavas a blessed Anant Chaturdashi Vrata. So, let us start with the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Badreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanachalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupaha Kadamayyam Dadati Svavadantikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parjana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Saganalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Krishnapadaya Krishna Varishtaya Vatrishu Vedanta Swami Namini Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharya Visheshwari Paschat Vishtarinam Kurti Vachalam Pangum Langhete Girim Yat Kripatam Mahamande Shri Gurum Dintaranam Paramanam Madhvam Shri Chaitanya Ishwara. Hare Krishna. So thank you. Very happy to be again amidst all of you. My humble obeisances and thank you for this opportunity to discuss the glories of the Lord. We are discussing today Canto 8, Chapter 8, verse 21. We are discussing the beautiful pastimes of the Samudra Manthan Leela, the churning of the milk ocean. And in this verse 8:21, we are at a very interesting juncture, which is leading to the beautiful marriage of Lakshmi Devi with the Supreme Personality of God. So I will quickly recite the verse, translation, and go through the purports, and then we can discuss about this particular shloka. धर्म क्वचित् तत्र न भूत सौहृदम त्याग क्वचित् तत्र न मुक्ति कारणम वीर्यं न पुंसोस्ति अजवेग निष्कृतम न हि द्वितीयो गुणसंगवर्जितः. Dharma, religion, kvachit, one may have full knowledge of. Tatra, therein, na, not. Bhuta saurudam, friendship with other living entities. Tyagaha, renunciation. Kvachit, one may possess. Tatra, therein, na, not. Mukti karanam, the cause of liberation. Viryam, power. Na, not. Pumsaha, of any person. Asti, there may be. Achavega nishkritam, no release from the power of time. No, nor he, indeed. Dvitiyaha, the second one. Gunasanga varjitaha, completely freed from the contamination of the modes of material nature. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami. Translation. Someone may possess full knowledge of religion, but still not be kind to all living entities. In someone, whether human or demigod, there may be renunciation, but that is not the cause of liberation. Someone may possess great power and yet be unable to check the power of eternal time. Someone else may have renounced attachment to the material world, yet he cannot be compared to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, no one is completely freed from the influence of the material modes of nature. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The statement dharma kvachita tatrana bhuta saurudam is very important in this verse. We actually see that there are many Hindus, Muslims, Christians, Buddhists, and religionists of other cults who adhere to their religious principles very nicely, but are not equal to all living entities. Indeed, although they profess to be very religious, they kill poor animals. Such religion has no meaning. Srimad Bhagavatam 1-8 says, Dharma swanushtita pumsam vishvaksena katasu yaha notpadayed yadiratim shrama evahi. One may be very expert in following the religious principles of his own sect, but if he has no tendency to love the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his observance of religious principles is simply a waste of time. One must develop a sense of loving Vasudeva. Vasudeva sarvamiti samhatma sudurlabha. The sign of a devotee is that he is a friend to everyone. Surdam sarvabhutana. A devotee will never allow a poor animal to be killed in the name of religion. This is the difference between a superficially religious person and a devotee of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. We find that there have been many great heroes in history, but they could not escape from the cruel hands of death. Even the greatest hero cannot escape from the ruling power of the Supreme Personality of Godhead when Krishna comes as death. That is described by Krishna himself. Mrityuhu sarva haraschaham. The Lord appearing as death takes away a hero's so-called power. Even Hiranyakashipu could not be saved when Narasimhadev appeared before him as death. One's material strength is nothing before the strength of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Hare Krishna. Panchakalpatrubhyascha kripasindhubhyo tanam pavanebhyo Krishna. So again, very wonderful Tithi today, Ananta Chaturdashi. It is also the divine disappearance day of Srila Haridas Thakur. I was just a little while ago listening to a beautiful class, as well as Radhanath Maharaj, how Haridas Thakur had a most wonderful disappearance. So I hope in your own personal readings and meditations also you have reflected on these beautiful pastimes and take this opportunity to pray Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur that through his inspiration and blessings we can also take perfect shelter. Of course, first cultivate taste, seriousness, and then eventually come to the point of taking perfect shelter of the Lord through his holy name, and in that way attain the perfection of Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. So having offered obeisances to him and all our great acharyas, we will try to discuss a little bit about this beautiful verse. We are in the 8th chapter of the 8th canto. This is a very, very beautiful pastime, perhaps amongst the most popular Puranic stories that generally Hindus are familiar with. In fact, this pastime is so famous, it's not just famous in India. Go to Thailand, in Bangkok, within the airport itself, there is the Samudra Manthan depiction. So this is a very, very ancient Puranic pastime. It's also a very sweet pastime for various reasons. It is one of those pastimes where many, many incarnations of the Lord manifested during this one Leela. There are very few pastimes where we find this. Within that one pastime, many personalities appear. Other than Lord Vishnu in the form of Ajita, the Lord manifested the form of Kurma. The Lord manifested or appeared in the form of Dhanvantari. The Lord in his Gunavatar as Shiva appears and drinks the halahal poison to save the devatas. And towards the conclusion of the pastimes, which we have not yet come towards, soon we will discuss about the appearance of the most unique incarnation of Lord Vishnu in the form of a most beautiful woman, Mohini Avatar. So many incarnations of the Lord appearing in this one pastime. And in this particular pastime, which spans so many chapters in the 8th canto, we are particularly discussing that section now where Lakshmi Devi, as the milk ocean is being churned, Lakshmi Devi appears from the ocean of milk. First poison appeared, Lord Shiva saved the devatas. And then various other auspicious items started appearing. Uchchaishravas, Airavata, and so on and so forth. Lakshmi Devi comes. In this chapter, it is described when Lakshmi Devi appeared. So beautiful, so charming. Not just not just beautiful in terms of her features, which are also beautifully described, but also perfect in her qualities and character. Everyone who was gathered there in that assembly, all were attracted to the beauty of Lakshmi Devi. In this world, everyone is attracted to Lakshmi Devi. Everyone wants the favor of Lakshmi Devi. Why? Because Lakshmi Devi is the representation of all good fortune. She's the energy of the Lord. And in the manifested world, everything is but the manifestation of the energy of the Lord. So without the favor, both in the material world of the material energy and of the spiritual energy in the spiritual world, one cannot attain any opulence or any auspiciousness. So when Lakshmi Devi appears, all the gathered personalities, the Gandharvas, the Asuras, the Siddhas, everyone was feeling, oh, this is such a super excellent personality. She is the very embodiment of all feminine qualities. We wish that she accepts us as her husband. How did they know that she was wanting to marry? Because when she appeared from the ocean of milk, Lakshmi Devi moved around with a garland in her hand. Vara mala. Vara mala means the mala to put around the husband's neck. So when she appeared, her appearance was immediately that now I want to select a qualified husband. Like Srila Prabhupada says, right? That the perfection for a young girl is to get a perfect husband. So Lakshmi Devi holding a golden garland, sorry, a lotus garland, smiling with shyness, beautiful face, cheeks decorated with beautiful earrings. The daughter of the milk ocean, she started looking around this whole assembly. Practically the who's who of the universe was there. All kinds of denizens of the upper planets, all kinds of denizens of the lower planets, great sages. And seeing that she was ready to put her Varmala, looking for a suitable Vara, everyone was thinking, oh, we wish we get the favor of this most qualified dancer. But Lakshmi Devi, the Bhagavatam says, was carefully scanning the whole audience to determine who can be a perfect husband for her. This is the context. There were various quote unquote qualified individuals, powerful individuals, famous individuals, known and famous and adorned with various kinds of qualities and capabilities. But Lakshmi Devi was searching for the perfect partner. What kind of a partner? Perfect. Perfect means no faults, only all good qualities. And she deserved such a match. Sometimes, we are conditioned souls. We barely have some qualities. We have so many faults, but each of us want a perfect partner. I remember His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj says that, oh, many times the husband wants a wife like Sita, but he doesn't want to become Ram. Many times we want a companion who's very perfect, but we ourselves are not so qualified. But this was not the case. Lakshmi Devi, the most perfect qualified. She was being desired by practically who's who in the universe. But she is looking at the audience and scanning all around, trying to find a perfect match. And being perfect herself, she was very right in looking for a perfect match. Actually, in life, all of us are looking for a perfect companion, isn't it? And there is nothing wrong. And when I say companion, of course, the most common understanding and interpretation of the word companion is a marriage partner. But I am not talking about just that. That is, of course, a very, very important part, because that's the individual with whom, apart from our parents, will spend probably the maximum time in our own life. But all of us, in our sojourn in this world, are looking for a connection with a perfect companion. Why we are looking for a perfect companion? Because when we get that perfect companion, we will feel complete. We will feel complete. Of course, that is the idea even when a man and a woman come together in marriage, in sacred marriage. They complement each other. They are ardhangi. The wife is said to be the better half of the husband, and they are supposed to work together as a unit. But obviously, within the material world, that completeness is not experienced. Obviously, for various reasons. I'm not going to go into that in today's class. Because there are so many incompleteness within our own hearts. Because we do not have Krishna in the center, because our own hearts are filled with so many faults. But that quest for finding that perfect companion, that quest, our man's eternal quest for completeness, is in his eternal search for that perfect companion. Like George Harrison from Beatles, he says very beautifully when he writes, I think in the preface, if I'm not wrong, or introduction, preface of the Krishna book, he says everyone is looking for Krishna. It's just that they don't know. What does that mean? Everyone is looking for that perfect companion, that perfect relationship. That relationship which will make the person feel complete, which will make him feel love in their heart, which will give them happiness, which will give them fulfillment. But alas, in this material world, that desire is never met. It's always meets with frustration. So when we look for a best companion, before we go into analysis of the verse, I just want you to think about for a moment, few moments. Who actually is the best companion for anyone? And when I say companion, again, clarify like what I mentioned earlier, I'm not necessarily mentioning in terms of spouse. Spouse is, of course, a very important companion. But I'm talking broader. Who's that? Who or what are the qualities of one who can be the best companion? So actually, we can talk about this topic for a long time, but I am going to summarize it. That whole analysis of who's the most perfect companion into 3 points. I call it CIA, not Central Intelligence Agency. I'll explain to you what CIA stands for. C means capability. All of us want a companion, a relationship with a person who is very, very capable. Capable means full of both in terms of qualities and in terms of abilities. Capable. Because if they are capable, then they can help us. Then they will be a suitable companion, because in the challenges that we will get in life, a capable companion is one who will help us. That is why in this world also, right, whenever we come across a rich, powerful, famous person, we all want to develop a relationship with them. Why? What do we say? Arre, kabhi na kabhi to kaam aayega. Someday I will need his help. Why? Because he's very influential. He's very capable. He's very powerful. He's the CEO here. He's the district superintendent of police or whatever, high court judge. We are all looking for capable connections. So one is C, means capability. But is it enough to have a companion who is simply capable? For example, Mukesh Ambani. I think most of you will agree he's very capable in various respects. Is he able to help me in basis his capability, at least in various material things? Yes. But is that good enough? Is an individual being capable good enough? No. Not only must the person be capable, must also have the intention of helping me. If he doesn't have the intention of helping me, what good is that person's capability? Huh? There are so many powerful persons in this world, but if they are not favorably disposed towards me and they don't really have an intention of taking care of my interests for me, is their capability any good? So, a good companion, not only we look for somebody with capability, we look for somebody also with intention of taking care of us, of helping us. See, I. A person may be capable, a person may have intention to help us, but who knows in this world when we will need what help? Just a little while ago, we discussed this beautiful pastime of Gajendra Moksha. And you can, I don't have so much time today, you can apply what we are discussing in the context of the situation that Gajendra was put in. This is a very beautiful analysis for that. Capability, intention. So many of them had intention to help Gajendra, but they were not capable. So capability is one. Intention is one. But also third thing is very important. I may have a very powerful connection with somebody who is ever willing to help me. But when I'm actually in difficulty at that place, at that time, if that person is not available to help me and save me in that situation, what good is his capability and his good intention? So comes the third consideration. Availability. Is that person available or accessible to me any moment, any time, all the time? So we are looking for a companion who's capable, who has the intention of helping us, and who is also available for us all the time. Who can be a better companion than one who has these qualities? CIA. Capable, capability, have the intention, and also have accessibility or availability. And if we analyze thoroughly, nobody within the material world, some may be capable, and that to some extent, some may have the intention, again to varying degrees. Maybe our parents and some very close friends and relatives may have a fair bit of interest. Who's available? Is there anyone who's available and accessible all the time? And if we analyze this thoroughly, we will all come invariably to one conclusion, that the only companion who meets all these criteria at all places, at all times, in all circumstances, most capable, most well-wishing friend, and always available, is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Suradam Sarvadehinam, I am the best well-wishing friend. The Lord is not just the most capable. Bhoktaramyakatapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. He is the Lord of all the material and spiritual worlds. So capability, no question. Suruda Sarvadehinam. I am the well-wishing friend of every living entity. Perfectly meets intention. Suruda. He really feels for us. Suruda. What is Suruda? Suruda is not just a Mitra. He's Mitra plus plus. What is that plus plus? Really feels for us. Suruda is someone who really shares our heart or feels for us. Suruda Sarvabhutana. And accessibility. सर्वस्य चाहम हृदि सन्निविष्ट मत्त स्मृति ज्ञानम अपोहनम च वेदैश्च सर्वैरहमे वेद्यो वेदांत कृत वेद विदेव चाहम. I am situated in the heart of every living entity. We are worried about whether God is accessible to us or not, but the Shvetashvatar Upanishad says the Lord is sitting next to the soul, the Paramatma is sitting next to the soul in the region of the heart. Sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishta. Always just waiting when this fellow will look towards me. We are worried about God being accessible, but God is waiting when this guy will turn towards me. Since Anadhi Bahirmukha Jeev. Since unlimited time, the living entity has turned his face away from the Lord. Anadi Bahirmukha. So the Lord is just, sometimes we say, right, I am just a phone call away. Somebody may say, I am always available for you. But the Lord is not even a phone call away. He is not away at all. He's always there. Even when we forget him, he never forgets us. Mattaha smritir jnanam apohanam cha. From me comes remembrance, forgetfulness, memory, knowledge. So who can be a better companion for anyone for that matter other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead? So that is where the search of the Jiva ends or should end. The most capable, the one who has the most perfect intentions for us, and the one who's most accessible. And Lakshmi Devi, through her search for the best husband, is demonstrating to us in terms of these principles. Because she was looking, of course, she's herself perfect. We are so unqualified, so insignificant, so full of faults. She's so perfect, but she's looking for the perfect companion for herself. And through this Leela, guiding us of how for each and every living entity also the true and real object of our worship, of our service, of our surrender is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So in this verse 21 is one of those verses where Lakshmi Devi is doing her scan. She's doing her scan. Now some of us may wonder why she's doing a scan. Because she wants to instruct us that she did not find anybody else capable other than the Supreme Lord, which will be her conclusion shortly. But currently she's scanning, she's looking at the audience. Analyze. Analyzing the two sides. Debit, credit, balance sheet. Good qualities, bad qualities. Good qualities, bad. And she's scanning through all the audience. All those who are gathered there. And a few of those examples are mentioned in some of these verses. 19, 20, 21, 22. These set of verses. And we are in verse 21. Now, before I get deeply into the analysis, in this particular verse, obviously some analysis must have been done yesterday in your discussion in verse 20. I want to give a little bit more context in terms of Lakshmi Devi marrying Lord Vishnu. Now, some of us may wonder, oh, isn't Lakshmi Devi the eternal consort of the Lord? She's there in the spiritual Vaikuntha serving the Lord. She's already there sitting at the lotus feet of Kshirodakashai Vishnu. massaging his feet as the Lord is laying on Shesha, on Ananta, sorry. So what is this description of the marriage of Lakshmi and Lord Vishnu? Is it that she wasn't his wife before this? So sometimes, we all get confused. What is this? And there are many such pastimes where we think, I thought this was always an eternal feature. Why this is happening in this way at this particular time? There is a pastime where the Lord gets Sudarshan Chakra at one time. Isn't Sudarshan Chakra eternally the Lord's Ayudha? So there are reasons why these kind of pastimes are appearing within the Puranas. So one important point to note here, that this Samudra Manthan Leela is a Leela which has not happened in this Manvantara. We are in the Vaivasvata Manvantara. This pastime happened in the previous Manvantara known as the Chakshusha Manvantara, the sixth Manvantara. Every day of Brahma has 14 Manvantaras. And in each Manvantara, there is a Manvantara avatar of the Lord. So for those who attended some of my previous classes, we have discussed this concept already in those classes. But if you're not very familiar, you can read the first chapter of the 8th canto. It deals with this topic in a fair amount of detail. So I'm not going to go into too much detail. But suffice to mention that in each Manvantara, there is a Manvantara avatar of Lord Vishnu, a Chaturbhuj form of the Lord, which comes and assists in the universal administration. And in each Manvantara avatar, the Lord marries his consort, an incarnation of Lakshmi Devi. So the incarnation of Lord Vishnu comes as the Manvantara avatar, and Lakshmi Devi incarnates as to become a consort of the Manvantara avatar in each Manvantara. And then they come together in marriage in each Manvantara. So that is the setting. So this particular pastime is how in the Chakshusha Manvantara, the Manvantara avatar known as Lord Ajita, who is the son of Vairaja and Deva Sambhuti, how he married Lakshmi Devi, who was the daughter of the milk ocean. So in the previous Manvantara, for example, when we discussed the Gajendra Moksha pastime, the Gajendra Moksha pastime happened in the Tamasa Manvantara, fourth Manvantara. And Lord Hari was the Manvantara avatar. And he married Lakshmi Devi in a particular form. Then, in the Raivata Manvantara, the fifth Manvantara, the Lord appeared as the son of Vikuntha and Shubhra by the name of Vaikuntha, and he married Lakshmi Devi, who appeared in the form of Rama Devi. So in the Raivata Manvantara also their marriage happened in a different way, in a different Leela. It is said in the Bhagavatam, this is in the 5th chapter of the 8th canto, that in the Raivata Manvantara, Lord Vaikuntha married Rama Devi, and a brief reference is there that Lord Vaikuntha created a Vaikuntha planet within this material world where they both went and resided for the pleasure of Rama Devi. Rama Devi said, "In the material world, let's have a spiritual planet," so he created. Actually, the Acharyas and the saints explain actually above Satyalok, in this universe, there is a Vaikuntha planet where the Manvantara avatar resides. So oftentimes when we hear about great sages visiting Vaikuntha, we are talking about that Vaikuntha which is above Satyaloka, where the Manvantara avatar resides. We are not talking about the Vaikuntha in the across the Viraja. We are not talking about that. Across, beyond the Brahmajyoti. There, Jivas from this material world cannot simply go and come back, except for Narad Muni, who has full access everywhere. So, just wanted to explain this so that we can understand and relish how this divine pastime of the Lord's repeated appearance and his union with his eternal consort Lakshmi Devi in different names, different forms keeps happening. Sambhavami yuge yuge. I keep coming. Yuga after yuga. And when I come, my consort comes, my devotees come. So this beautiful Leela goes on. In this particular Manvantara, the Lord, the Manvantara avatar is Vamana Dev. And how has Lakshmi Devi appeared? Lakshmi Devi has appeared in the form of his wife. And what is the name of Lord Vamanadev's wife? Kirti. Her name is Kirti. So each Manvantara avatar, Lord Hari, has his consort. That consort also has different Lakshmi, Kirti, Rama, and so on and so forth. So I thought that is also worth sharing so that we can appreciate the context in which these beautiful pastimes happen. So in the previous Chakshusha Manvantara, Lord Ajita, whose Lord Vishnu incarnate in Manvantara avatar, who appeared as the sun, of Vairaja and Deva Sambhuti, married Lakshmi Devi. So now, having set this context, now I want to go into the analysis of the verse proper. Actually, this verse is so beautifully analyzed in the commentary of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So beautifully Prabhupada has commented. There are 4 prominent points that Lakshmi Devi makes in this particular verse. Again, a quick reminder, Lakshmi Devi is scanning through the audience, trying to scan through each and every individual to see good qualities, bad qualities. And she wants to see the bottom line, 0 bad qualities and 100% good qualities. But nobody is matching. So some of her scan results have been published in the Bhagavatam. How in some personality she saw some good quality, but she also saw, अरे इसमें ये है पर ये नहीं है, correct? Sometimes, right? I mean, even in this material world, when a boy is looking for a girl, he says, oh, she has a good job, but she's not beautiful. She's a devotee, but she's dark in color. So very difficult to find somebody with 100% good qualities and 0 faults in any way. So there's a very beautiful analysis that Srimati Lakshmi Devi does. And there are 4 qualities in 4 individuals that Lakshmi Devi sees. And she says, in each of these analyses, and we'll go through that analysis quickly in the next 20 minutes that we have, that she sees that there is one good quality in this person, which is a very good quality, but he also has a fault. This quality is not perfect. The perfection of an action or a quality, and this is the principle across the analysis of Lakshmi Devi, is in terms of that particular quality or attribute giving its proper outcome. If that quality or capability doesn't deliver the proper, spiritually proper outcome, then that quality is just considered a false decoration. That's the sum and substance of this analysis. And we'll go through how it is for all the qualities. Only the Supreme Personality of Godhead is full of all good qualities in completeness. The Acharyas have explained Krishna has 64 qualities in completeness. Lord Vishnu has 60 qualities in perfection, and Lord Shiva has 55 qualities in perfection. The Jiva, even when he is fully pure, can maximum have 50 qualities in full. Of course, the Jiva's full is not same as Krishna's full. Our glass is only so small, so we can only fill it so much. Krishna's fullness is unlimited. And also, the perfection of qualities, even this 50 in a jiva, are fully developed to its maximum capacity only in a pure devotee. Otherwise, for those who are not perfectly spiritually qualified in pure devotion, even their so-called good qualities are simply hollow qualities which do not truly embellish the spiritual, the true spiritual eternal nature of the self. And this is what Lakshmi Devi is inferring through that very beautiful but very simple analysis that she is making. So, good qualities or good attainments are described in the Bhagavad simply as mental concoctions or not of much value unless they are directly in relation with the true identity of the eternal self. And what is the true identity? Jivera Swarupoya Krishnera Krishnasya Tatastha Shakti Bheda Bheda Prakash. That the living entity is eternally a part and parcel of the Lord, and being a part and parcel, the eternal function of the jiva is to render unmotivated, uninterrupted service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the 5th canto, 18th chapter, 12th verse, the residents of Jambudvip are offering prayers to Lord Vishnu. There's a very beautiful verse. Prabhupada quotes this so many times in his purports. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagwati akinchana sarvair gunais tatra samasate suraha harav bhaktasya kuto mahad gunaha manorathena sati dhavato bahi. That only those who are pure devotees, yasyasti bhaktir bhagwati akinchan, akinchan bhakti. Sarvai gunai, all good qualities appear in their personality. All good qualities that divine beings have manifested. Those who are not pure devotees, harava abhaktasya, abhakta, to mahad guna, where they have good qualities, even if they seem to have so many qualities, because those qualities are not rooted in the real nature of the self and the real and the eternal relationship of the spiritual self with the Supreme Lord. Manorathena sati dhavato bhaji. They are all at the level of mental platform. That's why those who are well versed in transcendental understanding are not too excited about so-called good qualities. So-called. Even though at a social level, devotees still show respect to everyone, understanding that they are manifesting vibhutis of the Lord. Yad yad vibhuti mat sattvam Srimad urjitam evava tatta deva vagachatvam mama tejam shasam. So he doesn't criticize, he respects. But true appreciation and value is of divine qualities. And those true divine qualities manifest in the pure. So there are 4 qualities. Very quickly we will go through. I wanted to give this background so that we understand the perspective from which these observations and analysis are made by Lakshmi Devi. So she says 4 things. I can see that there are some in this individual, some individuals in this gathering are very religious, expert in execution of religious activities. But even though they have that good quality, they have a fault. They are not really friendly to the jivas. They are religious but not friendly to the jivas. And even though Lakshmi Devi doesn't quote name, the Acharyas explained that actually Lakshmi Devi in this particular analysis is referring to Shukracharya. Shukracharya was the Asura Guru. The Guru of the Asuras was expert in religious. He was so good that in some respects he was better than Brihaspati. He had the Sanjeevani Vidya, which even the Brihaspati did not have. So expert in some things. But in spite of being perfect in religious execution of ceremonies and rituals, what is the defect? He is not friendly to the jivas. So what is Lakshmi Devi actually saying? She is saying that the actual perfection of the execution of religious duties is parodharma. What is parodharma? Yato adhokshaje ahituki apratihata yaya atma suprasid. Pure selfless devotion. If one's religious execution is not leading one to pure devotion, it is useless, the Bhagavatam says. And when one develops pure devotion to the Lord naturally, what is the corollary? What is the natural consequence? The natural consequence is that one becomes non-envious towards all living entities. One develops a friendly attitude towards all living entities. This is one simple way by which one can understand who is very advanced in spiritual consciousness. To make a display of religiousness or spirituality is not so difficult. Some may be very expert in execution of yajnas, rituals, scriptural analysis, but is that resulting in non-envious vision? If it is not, then your religiosity, your execution of spirituality, your rituals, your sadhana is still at an external level. Is not really the ornament of the soul yet. If religiosity does not result in developing friendly relations to this quality of non-enviousness, which results in seeing all living entities as friends, is so desirable. It is the symptom of perfection, and it is something which all great souls are desiring. In fact, if you scan through the Srimad Bhagavat, you will see that many places, many great devotees, when they pray to the Lord, a very common theme of prayer across the Bhagavatam, the great devotees, they will pray, "Oh Lord, if you want to give me benediction, I don't want any material benediction. You really want to give me a benediction, please give me the benediction. One, I may never forget you. Second, I may have always association of your devotees. And third, may I have friendly relations with all living entities." A very, very common theme across Bhagavatam. Please analyze. This comes out in a very striking way. Sudama, when he prays to Krishna, he asks for this. And this is a common theme. You can go on and on and on across prayers. So if our spirituality, if our sadhana, if our advancement is not bringing us there, that means we are still some way off. So this is one beautiful analysis. There are some who are religious, but they are not friendly to the Shivas. So Shukracharya is like that. He's so expert, but he's siding with the envious demons, capture and conquer the wealth of the Devatas. So no, reject. Shukracharya, no. Then her second analysis, there are others who have renunciation, but they don't have liberation. Example, Daksha. There are personalities like Daksha, they are very renounced, but they have no liberation. So renunciation without liberation is also useless. Now, this point we can do elaborate analysis. We don't have time. But this is a very, very beautiful point. Renunciation, which doesn't lead to liberation from the modes of material nature, is simply useless. There's a very beautiful verse. Na aradito yadi harim tapasa tatakim. Aradito yadi harim tapasa tatakim. Doing austerities, renunciation. If they are not resulting in love for the Lord, what is the use? And if you already have for the love for the Lord, then what is the need for renunciation? Because what is true renunciation? Huh? Sometimes we feel, oh, I want to renounce, I want to renounce. But then somebody may ask us, Prabhu, you want to renounce, or Mataji, you want to renounce, but what exactly is it that you own that you want to renounce? And then anybody who will honestly analyze will realize, oh, actually, I don't own anything. That is 101 of Bhagavad Gita. That Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. Who's the boss? Bhoktaram Yagatapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram. I am not the boss. Even my house. Manasa Deha Geha Jo Kichu Mo. Whatever is mine is actually yours. It's for you. Arpilu tu apade Nanda Kishore. So true renunciation is not just about giving something up. That is at a very low level. But true renunciation is about giving up proprietorship, ownership, enjoyership mentality over things which are under one's control and influence. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Why we are continuously entangled? Because we are bewildered by the false sense of I, me, and mine. That is why true renunciation is renunciation of false ego. And that is why when renunciation is done truly of the false ego, that leads one to liberation. So that renunciation, which doesn't lead one to liberation, not impressed. So Lakshmi Devi is saying there are some who are renounced but not liberated. That means the renunciation is not of the character of spiritual perfection. A dry renunciation. Falgu Vairagya, our Acharya says. The Vairagya that our Acharyas speak about is Yukta Vairagya. What is true renunciation? Annavadevi Mataji is asking. True renunciation is renunciation of our false ego. Renunciation of the sense of proprietorship. To understand that nothing belongs to me, everything already belongs to the Lord. My problem is I am under the illusion, Janasya mohoyam aham mama. I, me, mine. Actually, none of it is mine. Everything belongs to the Lord, and whatever is under my care, I am supposed to use it in the Lord's service. That is the perfection of renunciation. Demons also otherwise renounce. Hiranyakashipu, what kind of renounced austerities he did? For whatever period. Did he achieve liberation? No, because his renunciation was not about acknowledging the permanent ownership of the Lord. His renunciation was simply a tactical means to achieve his fruitive material desire to get power in this world. So renunciation which doesn't lead to liberation, not very. So Lakshmi Devi says, I see people like Daksha renounced, but not liberated. Cancel from my list. Shukracharya cancel, Daksha cancel. Then Lakshmi Devi says, I see there are others who have strength. Very powerful. The example given is Shumbha and Nishumbha. These are asuras from the lower planets. Very powerful. Shumbha, Nishumbha. Later in other pastimes, they were killed by Devi. And that is also discussed in the later chapters. We're not going to that now. But there are others who have strength. But what is the fault? They are strong, but they are not strong enough to be defeated, to not be defeated by time, which means they are defeated by time. They are strong, but their downside is they are defeated by time, Kal. In this world, and Prabhupada very nicely described in the purport, everyone is defeated by time. Great empires collapse. Everything is destroyed by time. Nobody can stand in front of time. So what is Lakshmi Devi seeing? What? She expecting the jiva to conquer time? Nobody can counteract time or stop time, because time is the energy of the Lord. Mrityu sarva haraschasmi. Death will come. Death is inevitable. Nobody can counteract or stop time. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanudarshanam. Based on the force of time, person will be born, will grow, will produce offsprings, will remain for some time, dwindle, disease, old age, death. 6 transformations and 4 stages: birth, old age, disease. Through the agency of time, everyone is battered and humiliated. Adi bhautik, adi devik, adhyatmik battered. So how can one have the strength to counteract time? One cannot counteract time, the energy of the Supreme Lord, by taking it head on. One counteracts time by transcending time. Because time only influences matter. Time has no influence over the spiritual self. So real strength is not just in acquiring material capability, because no matter how much capability one acquires, time will crush it. So go beyond the influence of time, which only a person who's a transcendentalist can do. Real strength is attainment of transcendental platform. Going beyond time. There's a very beautiful verse which Prabhupada often quotes. I hope, is it okay, Mataji, if I take 5-10 minutes more? Or should I?
Yes, Prabhuji, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you so much. Not too long, 5-10 minutes, I'm just wrapping up. There's a very beautiful verse that Srila Prabhupada quotes often. He says, Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhya. Na Medhayana Bahuna Shrutena. This is a very beautiful verse from the Upanishads. The key point Prabhupada repeatedly emphasizes, one needs strength for spiritual realization. But not material capabilities, not the strength one develops in gym. One needs spiritual strength, which comes through the blessings of Guru Balaram. Nayam Atma Balahinena Labhya. One needs Bala. That strength which will not enable one to overcome the force of time is useless for those who are aspiring for perfection. Strength to manipulate matter, strength to influence others and attain material achievements, no matter how strong one is, time will defeat everyone. If not in that situation, definitely at one point in the form of death. Mrityu sarva haraschasmi. So real strength is to transcend the modes of nature and go beyond the influence of time. What does it mean when we say go beyond the influence of time? Is it that suddenly a devotee stops getting old? Prabhu, after chanting the holy name, my body now, I'm 24 years old and I never get old. Not. Time will continue to affect whatever is made out of the gunas. But we have to take our consciousness, our soul, beyond the influence of the gunas. There's a very beautiful example which I like. And I'll mention it briefly. If we had more time, we could have discussed more. But it's a very beautiful example. If, let's say, we are in a place where there's heavy rains. When it rains heavy, in India it does rain very heavy. Of course, many of you are in the US right now. I'm in Malaysia, also rains pretty heavy. Even if you have a raincoat, you'll get wet. Even if you have an umbrella, you'll get wet. Unless you're just, crossing the road quickly, you want to run, still you will see your trousers, your shoes are wet. So when it rains really heavy, where is the safest place? Especially if you are in the open. Neither the raincoat will save you nor the umbrella will save you. What is the best situation? Best place to be in very heavy rains is a person who is above the clouds. Let's say you're traveling in an airplane above the clouds, or you're flying above the clouds. From top, you are seeing all the rains are down. It is still raining, but I am above the clouds, so the rain is not affecting me. Similarly, if we elevate our consciousness to be above the clouds of ignorance, above the influence of the modes of material nature, even though material nature may rain on us the threefold miseries and continuously try to harass us through various transformations, consciousness which has already transcended beyond the clouds will remain equipoised. Samatva. That is what we are talking about, going beyond time. Yes, the body will get battered. Yes, all kinds of things will happen. Even the greatest of souls in this material world, we will often see that material nature is not very, at least at an external level, she seems not very considerate. Sometimes we see even devotees go through worse situations than even others who are not taking shelter of the Lord. Of course, there are spiritual reasons for that, but at an external level, it appears. But the devotee's consciousness is such that he is transcendental. He has the strength to transcend the material nature. How does he transcend? Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, right? That only by taking shelter of me perfectly, one can transcend material. Fourth point, the last point which Lakshmi Devi mentions. So now she has mentioned quite a few points, some points in the previous verse. In the previous verse, she spoke about austerity. People who have austerity, but they have anger. People have knowledge, but they have material attachments. People have greatness, but they have lusty desires. People have controllership, but they depend on others. So these are all incompatible. And these all can be analyzed in the same manner that we have analyzed today. And then she comes to one point where she says, there are some people in this assembly who are free from the modes, who are above the clouds. Example, 4 Kumaras. The 4 Kumaras are also there. There are some who are transcendental to the modes, but they are not good companions for me. 4 Kumaras are not good companions for me. Kumaras are 5-year-old boys. They are immersed in transcendental knowledge. They do not have material faults, but they are not good companions. The only perfect match, which comes in the next couple of verses, for her is the Supreme Lord. In the translation, going back, he says, no one, yet he cannot. He means the Kumaras, for example, somebody who has renounced the modes or transcended the modes and renounced the material, yet he cannot be compared to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. That is why nobody is completely freed and nobody is completely faultless except for the Supreme Lord. So in conclusion, just like Lakshmi Devi analyzed so beautifully, she is guiding us through her own example. We should also look for the perfect companion. The perfect companion who's most capable and qualified, has the perfect intention of helping us, and who's always available and accessible every moment. And how do we access him and his mercy, and how do we remain connected with this companion and take full benefit of his grace, of his capability, of his good intention, and of his accessibility? Is through the chanting of the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Iti Shodashakanam Nam Kali Kalmashanashanam Natha Parataropaya Sarva Vedeshu. And Haridas Thakur, on this auspicious day, the disappearance day of Haridas Thakur today, Ananta Chaturdashi, he has given us that perfect example of how we can always remain connected with the Lord through the process of taking shelter of his holy name. So let us offer obeisances again to him and pray to him. Just like great personalities like Lakshmi Devi eternally take shelter of the Lord, they find shelter on the chest of the Lord. We may also develop relationship with CIA, the most capable the one who has the most perfect intention, the one who is most accessible. Through the simple process that Lord Chaitanya and the Acharyas have given us, the chanting of the holy names, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Thank you very much. Granthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai, Shri Prabhupada ki Jai. Thank you, Mother.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for a wonderful class, Prabhu. Very beautifully explained the pastimes of Lakshmi Devi, Vaman Deva and Gajendra. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Devotees, if anybody have any questions or realization you'd like to share, please unmute yourself and go ahead. Hare Krishna, dear devotees.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a beautiful class, Prabhuji. Very grateful to you. I don't have any questions, but very beautiful class, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji.
Sindhu Rao Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Hare Krishna Prabhu, wonderful, wonderful class. Thank you so much for giving me your association. I just had one question, Prabhu, regarding the transcending the mode you were talking about, right? At our level, it is very, very difficult for us to transcend the mode, first thing. Second, what is the symptom of us transcending? Because we are so much in ignorance that even the devotion that we do is not pure. So how do we, I mean, ultimately that is a level we all need to get to, but how do we do it? And what is the symptom that, that I know it's a very tall ask, but what is a symptom of transcending the modes?
So there are two things. Thank you, Madhu. It's a very wonderful question. This is, of course, a very big topic, but I'll share a couple of thoughts with you. Yep. So in the Bhagavad Gita, at the end of the chapter on the three modes, in verse number 26, Krishna gives a hint to the means of transcending. One who engages in full devotional service, unfailing in all circumstances, at once transcends the modes of material nature and thus comes to the level of Brahman. Mam cha yo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatityaitana brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Or in other words, Krishna, as in the Bhagavatam, which we discussed earlier, there is also the beautiful verse that what is parodharma? Ahaituki apratihata. The symptom, or I should say the chief characteristic of transcendence is selflessness. Because within the modes, whether it is Sattva Guna, Rajoguna or Tamoguna, one still has a sense of false ego. One still has a sense of aham and mama. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. So the most subtlest substratum on which the modes rest is one's false identity, one's false sense of trying to enjoy, be the Lord. That's why Srila Prabhupada again and again warns us. Why we are repeatedly saying, be a servant, be a servant, be a servant. Because it is through the consciousness of giving up the overlordship mentality and taking up a service attitude, selfless service attitude without expecting anything in return. That is the means to transcending, and that is also the symptom of one who has transcended. A person who has transcended, of course, Krishna in the second chapter very beautifully describes to Arjuna the symptoms of one who has transcended, and he describes in various ways. Those are external symptoms, that they are never excited about material benefits. They are not bothered whether there is gain or loss. These are all external symptoms. But for us, when we see that somebody is sincerely engaged in the service of the Lord, simply considering the benefit of the Lord and in his service to the devotees and the mission, simply concerned about seva without consideration of personal honor, personal attainment, personal glorification, that's a very strong sign that they are very advanced in consciousness.
Prabhu.
So, yeah, does it answer your question, Mataji? I'm trying to be brief, but does it answer?
Yes, Prabhu. It is the right way to understand the service attitude. Whenever the I comes, that's where the problem is, and we have not transcended because we are relating to that I that may
Yeah.
in that.
So even in Bhakti, Mataji, I'll just add one thing. Even in Bhakti, in the 11th canto, when Uddhav is uh, having this conversation with the Lord explains to Uddhav that Bhakti is also of four types. Bhakti in Tamogun, Bhakti in uh, uh, Rajogun, Sattvagun, and Transcendental Bhakti. So I'm not going to go into the details now. We don't have that much time, but you can read, you can look this up in the 11th canto. So we are looking for para bhakti. That's why we are emphasizing para. Para means transcendental. One may be engaged in the bhakti of the Lord in terms of execution of the limbs, but one may still be very fruitive. So that is Mishra Bhakti. That is why we talk about Karma Mishra, Jnana Mishra, or even at a more lower stage, Sakam Karma Yoga. Sakam Karma Yoga also is a little bit of bhakti because there is still some involvement of the Lord. So there is Gauna Bhakti and there is Pradhani Bhut Bhakti. Bhakti may be little, bhakti may be prominent, bhakti may be mixed, or within other things, bhakti may be a little bit mixed. So we may be at, in our own journey right now, we may be at different parts of that whole spectrum. We have to look at our own hearts and analyze where we are in that spectrum. But our whole emphasis, our objective is to come to Parabhakti. And how we come? It's a process. Cheto darpanamarjanam bhaumaha davagni nirvapanam. So we have to continue the process through which the heart will get cleansed. First, we cleanse the lower modes, then come to Sattva Guna, then on the platform of Sattva Guna, we jump from there to the transcendental platform by giving up all material considerations and desires. That's how the Acharyas have explained.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Very well explained. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Dandavad.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Janvi Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji, with your question.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare
Sorry.
Krishna Jana Mataji.
Okay, here we are.
Dandavad.
I offer my humble obeisance to you and then to all
Please
the
accept my
devotees. Thank you so much for always giving me the opportunity to ask questions in this Sangha. Much appreciated and much conducive to my bhakti. Prabhu, what a lovely class, and I appreciate the practicality of your class as well as the specific examples. My question to you is, because it's also a lot to digest. That's why I needed the AI companion. When you're, and I love the Mataji's question as well. So we have to transcend versus the cleansing process that's happening, and then definitely the goal is parabhakti. In our day-to-day life, when we are noticing that we are failing, like, okay, for example, for me today, I didn't get to service the deity as much because I was running late. I'm not feeling well. And I had this desire to go to your class instead of doing the services in the temple. And it's making me feel bad. And then I realized, wow, you're still really about yourself, like what your benefit. You desire the knowledge of the class. Because sometimes my desire for knowledge is an entrapment in of itself, that sometimes I would choose this desire for more knowledge than doing my service. So how do I balance this desire for knowledge because I feel like I still need knowledge. I just hope that someone understands that. I don't know, like I get kind of trapped in it, and I feel so bad. Like you should be of service mode. But then I'm like, but I really want the knowledge. How do you balance that, Prabhu?
Mataji, you are I think your problem is a wonderful problem, because most people are in a problem where it is between choosing Maya and Krishna, but for you it is between Krishna Seva 1 versus Krishna Seva 2. So, so you have progressed. Yeah. So, and I think most of us are, face these kind of situations. So, yeah. So, of course, this is a more practical consideration. Of course, all activities in Krishna's service are spiritual. So, all activities, when properly done with the proper motivation, are all purifying. Sometimes we just have to put, I'm going to just say a bit generally in terms of guiding principles, what I've heard. So we have to see at what is, of course, all spiritual services are important. The question we should ask is what is more urgent, right? Because there are considerations between just activity for our purification and what is urgently needed to be done in terms of service for the mission. Okay, now I'm just giving a hypothetical example. For example, there is no other pujari to do the arti, and you really want to attend class of some very great sannyasi or spiritual master who has come to the temple. Okay, and then there's nobody else to do arti. Everybody else is busy with everything. So then I must do this service. Then I cannot attend the class, right? Yeah. So when we are not in those kind of difficult choices, yeah, then really, if we enjoy doing a particular kind of service, that is perfectly okay, because as jivas, all of us are inclined to serve the Lord more in a particular way, right? So some devotees are inclined. I myself, for that matter, also have a similar thinking like you, in the sense I always like to understand more spiritual subject matter, hear more. I'm not a person who likes to go around and do this, do that. When it is needed and the service really demands, I'll do. But I prefer discuss, study. That's just how my nature is, and that's perfectly okay. Each one of us has different natures. There's nothing right or there is nothing wrong. Only sometimes when service demands, like what I said, right? Service demands means it is now urgent. I am needed and I am expected to do this. That time we cannot say that, oh, I want to do something else because I like. So that time we have to sacrifice our own likes for the higher cause of the service to the Guru and the mission. So that's a principle that I would like to share with you. There have been times where I really wanted to attend a class, but everyone went outside for the class, but they needed somebody in the kitchen. And I was told, no, Prabhu, you have to be in the kitchen and you have to cook. This was when I was a brahmachari. So, okay, I wasn't very pleased, but okay, that was the need of the hour. So I just did that. But it's a happy problem. If it's between devotional service 1 and devotional service 2, that means, at least you're not distracted by Maya.
Well, actually, yeah, thank you, Prabhu, for saying that. It's very encouraging, because I was really tormenting myself today. I was like, but I want the knowledge. So sometimes I feel like even I'm noticing that my desire for knowledge is becoming a gateway for Maya to get me not to serve sometimes, or I'm feeling that. So, but sometimes I also allow myself the grace, because I say to myself, well, bhakti really does work. Before you cross over to bhakti, you didn't, because I used to hate, like, a whole washing. I have a trauma washing the dishes, from growing up. And then I noticed that I became happy washing dishes in the temple. I was like, oh my gosh, bhakti really does work. I can't believe that it's like I used to hate this activity, but now I love it. So but thank you
Yeah.
for
So,
your
yeah, I'll
encouragement.
just share one more point, Mataji. So one
Sure.
thing is important. So like I mentioned earlier and in the previous verse, there is a beautiful mention that knowledge, Lakshmi Devi saw knowledge in some individuals, but she also saw material attachments as the defect. So what that means is true knowledge or study of scripture should lead us to selfless service. That is the outcome. So why knowledge is important other than just the understanding aspect is knowledge purifies our intent, our motivation. If we simply perform service without proper understanding, then we may be performing an activity, but we may not have the purified motivation. So we have to understand in transcendental activities, these activities are nourishing each other. If we simply perform service but without knowledge, then we may be performing activities at the level of karma yoga or maybe even material punya karma at worst. But we are interested in performing spiritual seva with the exclusive desire to please the Lord and the devotees. So that purity of intention will not come through proper purification of listening to Harikatha in the association of other sincere, purified devotees. That will purify our intention, give us the spiritual strength and the inspiration to chant, to serve with pure intention, and then we will grow. So that's another thought to contemplate on.
Right, because otherwise, like what you said, everything becomes like just a religious ornament.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Prabhu. I
Mataji.
appreciate you. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Dandavad Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much for wonderful question and wonderful answer, Prabhuji. Thank you. Devotees, if anybody have any other questions you'd like to ask Prabhuji.
Yeah, Himangi Mataji.
Yeah. Himangi Mataji, please go ahead, Mataji, with your question.
Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for giving the opportunity. Hare Krishna Prabhuji, honestly, I did not really hear the entire class, but I just have a continued question on Sindhu Mataji's question regarding transcending the modes. And you had mentioned that we go stepwise from lower modes to Sattva Guna, and then they'll be launched to the transcend the modes. So are there times like we are fluctuating between do we transcend at all during our bhakti journey or like do we fluctuate up and down between transcended and then come down, or once
Very
you
good
transcend
question.
you're there?
Very good question. So this is very interesting. Actually, Krishna explains this in the 14th chapter itself. He says very nicely, generally for conditioned souls, and this is for all those who are not yet fully transcended. Okay, and I'll answer your second part of the question also shortly. Generally, for those who are not transcended, the modes are continuously competing amongst each other. Sometimes, like Krishna says in the Gita, the mode of goodness becomes prominent and suppresses passion and ignorance. Sometimes passion becomes prominent. Sometimes ignorance becomes prominent and presses the other mode. So we are always in a state of flux based on our activities, our consciousness, our absorptions, our food. There are so many things which affect the modes. So to put it very simply, we cannot simply say that a person is always passionate, a person is always in goodness. No. So when we say somebody is sattvic, we are basically saying prominently is in sattva guna. So it is something like a weighted average, if you want to say in mathematical terms, right? So the modes are generally competing, yes. And the other question, do we transcend or in our current state? Whenever we are absorbed in Krishna's service in a selfless way, it is possible even at the stage of sadhana to momentarily come to the platform of transcending the modes, where the modes are not influencing or driving us. Yes, it is possible. But we are not able to remain on that platform. So only when we realize our eternal spiritual nature, then we become irreversibly situated in the transcendental stage. But full absorption in name, full absorption in service, also at that time, in that engagement, as long as it is not materially motivated, we are situated in the transcendental platform during the period of that selfless, devotional engagement, whether it be chanting of the holy names, absorption in kirtan, worship of the deities. The key word is selfless, loving, devotional service. And that is why it is very important for us to continuously cultivate that, because that is our key to transcendence. I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anybody have any other questions? Prabhu, with your permission, if nobody have any question, can we end the call, Prabhuji?
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. I want to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you, such wonderful devotees. And thank you for also inviting me. And hope to be able to serve you again. Thank you so much for your association. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveda Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki.
Yes, thank you so much for wonderful class, Prabhuji. We look forward for your association again and again in future, Prabhu. We are very grateful to you. Let us pay
Thank you,
obeisances to Prabhuji and all the devotees. Vancha
Kalpatarubhyasya kripa
Sindhubhyo
Bhaktanam Pavane Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai,
Ki
Srila
jai.
Prabhupada ki
Prabhupada
jai.
ki jai.
His Grace Gaur Chandra
Gaurachandra
Prabhuji
Prabhuji
ki
ki jai. Jai,
Jai.
jai.
Vaishnav.
Thank you,
Samaved
Prabhuji.
Bhakta Guna ki jai.
Jai.
Radhe
Jai.
Thank you,
Radhe.
Prabhuji. Gauranga.
Nityananda.
Radhe
Thank you so much,
Radhe.
Prabhuji, for such a beautiful class.
Radhe Radhe.
Again, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.